Drive through any small American town built before 1980 and you can still see the ghosts of this truck, if you know where to look. The old fire station with the faded red engine inside. The school bus that hauled 3 generations of kids to the same elementary school. The dump truck rusting behind the county highway garage. The propane delivery truck that used to come around every winter. The bread truck, the milk truck, the construction truck that built the strip mall. For 16 years, from 1962 to 1978, one specific truck did more of the actual physical work of building post-war America than almost any other vehicle ever made. International Harvester sold over 940,000 of them. The last one rolled off the Springfield, Ohio assembly line on September 15, 1978. And within a decade of that final unit being built, the company that built it was gone, the truck itself was barely remembered, and the dealers who sold it had closed their doors forever. The International Harvester Loadstar, the forgotten truck that built half of America. Hit subscribe before we get into it, and drop your next industrial vehicle pick in the comments. Top comment becomes our next video.
The Loadstar launched in 1962 as International Harvester's first purpose-built medium-duty truck. Before the Loadstar, IH had been selling modified versions of their light-duty pickup chassis to handle medium-duty work. The R-Series and B-Series that the Loadstar replaced had been competent trucks, but they were essentially scaled-up pickups. The Loadstar was something different. International Harvester's engineers built it from the ground up as a working truck. New chassis, new frame, 76-inch wide-track front axle, heavy-duty drivetrain components borrowed from the company's heavier trucks. The Loadstar was meant to do real work, not light duty, not occasional duty. Real, everyday, all-year, brutal commercial work. And it did, for 16 years, almost without changing.
The genius of the Loadstar wasn't the engineering, it was the application range. International Harvester offered the Loadstar in dozens of configurations. The 1600 was the smallest, the 1700 was the medium, the 1800 was the heavier. Then they added the 1850, the 1890, and eventually the entire model range stretched from Class 6 through the lower end of Class 7. You could order it as a 4x2, 4x4, 6x4, or 6x6. You could order it as a straight truck, as a tractor unit, as a cowled chassis for bodybuilders, as a strip chassis for school buses. The engine options eventually included 6 different gasoline V8s and 3 different diesels, ranging from 113 horsepower up to 210 horsepower. The transmission options range from a basic 4-speed manual up to a 10-speed manual or a 6-speed Allison automatic. If you needed a truck in the United States between 1962 and 1978, somebody at International Harvester could spec you a Loadstar that would do exactly the job you need. And if your job changed, the truck could be rebuilt to handle the new work. That flexibility is why the Loadstar ended up doing nearly every kind of work in American commercial life. Fire departments bought them as pumper trucks. The Loadstar fire truck became one of the most common emergency response vehicles in small-town America. Loadstar fire engines were still in active service in some rural fire districts into the 2000s, 40 years after they were originally built. The school bus industry adopted the Loadstar cowled chassis as one of the dominant platforms for American school bus bodybuilders. Schoolmaster was the official model name. Bluebird, Thomas, Carpenter, Wayne, and other school bus body manufacturers all built their bus bodies on Loadstar chassis. Generations of American children rode to school in buses built on Loadstar frames. Most of them never knew what brand of truck was underneath. Beyond fire and school bus work, the Loadstar moved cargo, bread delivery, milk delivery, propane and heating oil delivery, lumber delivery, dry goods delivery. If a small business in America between 1962 and 1978 needed to move stuff around, there's a strong chance the truck they bought was a Loadstar. Construction companies bought them as dump trucks, water trucks, and concrete mixer chassis. County highway departments bought them as snowplow trucks. Farmers bought them as grain haulers and livestock trucks. The Loadstar was so universal that you stopped noticing them. They were just part of the landscape. Every town had a dozen of them doing different jobs. The military bought them too. The Loadstar served as the basis for various Army utility trucks, fuel trucks, and cargo trucks. Air Force bases used Loadstars as airfield service vehicles. One famous photograph shows a Loadstar being used as a mobile air traffic control tower at Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines. And here's what makes the Loadstar story particularly fascinating from an engineering standpoint. The truck barely changed for 16 years. International Harvester was a conservative company. Components had long production runs without model year updates. The Loadstar of 1978 looked almost identical to the Loadstar of 1962. Same cab design, derived from the 1961 C-Series light truck cab. Same general silhouette, same instrument panel layout. The only major changes over the 16-year run were the addition of new engine options and minor trim updates. That stability was a feature, not a bug. Mechanics who learned to work on a 1962 Loadstar could still service a 1977 Loadstar with the same tools and the same knowledge. Parts interchanged across the entire production run. Dealers stocked components that would fit nearly any Loadstar, regardless of age. The truck was designed to be repaired by ordinary mechanics in ordinary garages with ordinary tools. In an industry that increasingly moved toward complex, specialized service requirements, the Loadstar stayed simple. And that simplicity is exactly what made it survive the brutal commercial duty cycles it was sold into. The single most legendary engine in the Loadstar's history showed up in the final 2 years of production, the DT466. A 210 horsepower, 466 cubic inch turbocharged inline-6 diesel that International Harvester had originally developed for their agricultural equipment. When IH adapted it for truck use and offered it as a Loadstar option in 1977, the DT466 became one of the most beloved diesel engines in American trucking history. Simple, reliable, powerful. The DT466 outlived the Loadstar by decades. It continued in IH and Navistar medium-duty trucks all the way into the 2000s. The DT466 became one of the most successful medium-duty diesel engines ever built, and it owes its first truck application to the Loadstar. But by 1978, International Harvester was already in serious trouble. The corporate problems that would eventually destroy the company were starting to show. Profit margins were thinning. Engineering investment was being cut. The 16-year-old Loadstar design, brilliant as it was finally getting too old to compete with newer truck designs from competitors. International Harvester replaced it in September of 1978 with the S-Series, a redesigned medium-duty truck line that consolidated the Loadstar and the heavier Fleetstar into a single platform. The S-Series was a good truck, but the company that built it was about to fall apart. The 1979 UAW strike that crippled International Harvester started just 1 year after the last Loadstar was built. The financial collapse that followed gutted IH's truck division, along with everything else. By 1986, International Harvester had been renamed Navistar International. The agricultural equipment business had been sold off, and the dealer network that had supported Loadstars across America was a fraction of what it had been a decade earlier. The Loadstar's vanishing wasn't dramatic, it just stopped getting built. The trucks already in service kept working. Some of them are still working today, more than 60 years after the first one rolled out of Springfield. Old fire department Loadstars get pulled out for parades, vintage school bus collectors restore Schoolmaster chassis. Farm trucks still drag manure spreaders around fields in the rural Midwest. The Loadstar didn't die. It just slowly disappeared as the trucks aged out and the manufacturer stopped existing to support them. That's the story of the forgotten truck that built half of America. Not a glamorous truck, not a famous truck, a working truck. Over 940,000 units built. Schools, fires, deliveries, construction, farms, military bases. Every kind of work that needed doing got done in a Loadstar. And then the company that built them collapsed. The trucks faded out of daily use, and a generation of Americans grew up without ever knowing the name of the truck that had built the world they inherited. If this is the kind of story you want more of, hit subscribe. Drop your next forgotten machine pick in the comments, and we'll see ya on the next one.